update method takes map, so here we need this curly braces, otherwise we'll have error. Okay, so inside update we have this one, and then we put this, and after that we can also update the last time something happened to this document. So timestamp dot now. Okay, great. So with this we would be able to update a particular message document. Now this one is not here yet. The reason because we still don't have this button in our UI, so our UI actually should be over here, right? So now we're gonna work on the UI and find a way to call this, and as we send messages we'll see that our Firebase has been updated. Now to be able to work with this, first we need to come over here inside the scaffold and the body section. We don't need it like this, so inside over here we'll first have safe area, and then here we'll have child, and then we'll constrained box, this one, and then inside this we'll have child again, and we'll use the stack widget over here, and then we'll have children. Now inside constraint box, I think I need to set up another property, box constraint box constraints dot expand. All right, inside this we'll have a positioned widget because we are using stack widget, right? So here we'll have child, and inside the child we'll have container, and now let's set up the position widget bottom and height. So bottom 0 h and height is say 50h. All right, now that would be actually over here 50 bottom 0 and height is 50, so that's what we'll see over here. Now let's save this. Of course we don't have anything, so that's why we don't see any changes, because our container is empty. Now inside the container we could do width, say 360.w, and height over here 50.h, and then we can set up color for this. So with app colors dot primary background color. Let's say, well, we do have an error. Oh, sorry, it should be color, not child. Now let's save it. Okay, so here we already see that we have a bit of color and change over here, and that's beautiful. Now inside this we want to have a child, and child will have row and then children. Now we know why we'll have like this, because everything we want to put in a row, right? Okay, great. So right after this, over here we want to start just setting up for this one. So main axis alignment, so main axis alignment dot start. Everything we want to start from the beginning, and then inside this we'll have a container, and then we'll have width now 217, so that's for text editing controller, and then we'll have height. Now height is 50 once again. Here we'll have child, and for child we'll have text field, and inside the text field we'd use keyword type, text input type, and over here multi-line, and after that we could do max lines 3, and then controller. So controller over here we do controller dot text editing controller, so the one that we have created early over here. So this is the text editing controller that we are referring. All right, and then autofocus, set it to false, and then focus node. Now we created a focus node, so we're going to invoke that one, and content node like that. All right, so now let's save it, and we already see that we have a text editing controller. Beautiful. So very soon we'll be able to send messages, and that's awesome. And right after this, here we could do a bit of decoration box. Well, that should be input decoration. And here we'll have hint text, and here also send messages, just like this. Now let's save it, and we already see that it's there. We want to show an icon for sending images over there. So right after this, we'll have another container. Let's see what it wants us. Okay, it wants us to replace it with size box. Do it, and we are okay with that for now. And then inside this here, we'll have height 30.h with 30.w. Now here we'll have margin and insets only. So on the left side we'll have a bit of margin, and then child gesture detector, and inside this we'll have child again, and then here we'll use new icon, and here are the icons dot photo outlined. I think that should work. Outlined, yes. And then here we'll use a size 35.w, colors.blue, and that's it. And after that we can have untap event, and for now untap event is empty. In future we'll see that we want to access our gallery or take photos, which would work. All right, great. So that part, and the last part is the sending message button, and that's the most interesting part that we want to work on. So here we'll have a container, and then we'll have width. So let's do width 65.w, and here height 35.w, and that's it. And inside this actually we'll have a child, and then we'll use elevated button for this, and then child itself here we'll use a text, and we'll say send. And after this here we're going to use unpressed event, and inside unpressed event we're going to call controller dot send message, the one that we have. Beautiful. Now let's save everything. Yes. Well, now I do think that here we could do a bit of margin, otherwise it looks strange. So here we'll have margin and inserts only dot only. Now here left, let's put 10, and then top 5.h, and it should help us. Yeah, so it's more centered right now. And let's take out these red lines. Most probably we don't need this new icon. Okay, great. So now this is the time we're ready to send messages. Now as you see here, everything is empty for this document. We don't have any sub collection. So what will happen right now if I click on this, send a message, so this message section should get called, and as it gets called over here, first it'll find this collection. If it doesn't exist, it'll create one, and then we know that we already have a document over here. If not, it'll create one. Actually there is already one document, like we are passing the document ID as we clicked on from here. So as we click on from here, we already have the document ID, right? Then it'll create a message list collection, and then whatever the information that we have from here, so it's gonna add it, and after that we just do some cleaning up work, but this is not very important. And at the same time we're gonna update our Firebase message collection with the last message and a timestamp. All right, so we just simply call update. Now this is beautiful. Now let's go ahead and say this is, well, this is, looks like we do have a bit of issues. So keyboard up event is dismissed. Well, let's restart our app and see if still persists this error. Now here we are, and here we see our user, and let's focus on this and try to type in. Yes, the error is gone. All right, so here I would say this is our first message. Let's send it. Of course, we don't say it here, but here it says that added with document snapshot ID, this one, right? Beautiful. And this is a very exciting moment over here. Well, let's go ahead and refresh it, and we'll be able to see that we have a new collection over here, message list. It's beautiful. And inside this we have this document ID, and then over here we do see that this is our first message. And now we'll do it a little bit live over here. So I'm gonna send more messages from here, and we'll see that it gets updated automatically. This is our second message. Yeah, as you see, this is a new document ID that created, and here we see that this is our second message. And at the same time, if you take a look carefully, you'll see that this over here has been updated as well according to the last time. So this is our second message, and this is the last time timestamp. It's beautiful. So that means that we're already able to send messages to Firebase, dynamic messages, and we're able to save them. So next we'll see how to read them back. Okay, so here we need to do some refactoring of our directories. So here first I'm going to go ahead and create a new directory, and here I'll call it message, like that. And everything inside of this chat I'm going to move to this message folder, and it would refactor for us automatically, and we are good. Well, it may take a bit of time. Oh, okay, so after refactoring it looks like this, and this is the time that I also initialize a new simulator because we want to show our chatting. So let's work on this as well. Okay, all right, so let us reboot this simulator, and as they reboot we can also work on some of the things that we are supposed to work. Now come to this controller inside this, and the first thing we want to do, we want to be able to listen to the messages that we send to our user. Or the other way to say, when you send messages to Firebase, actually we want to listen to them, and this way we know when two users communicate, we are listening to them, and then we can show the messages. Well, now we'd be listening to messages as we come to this chat controller. So over here we have this onReady method, so we're gonna invoke that one, and inside this we do super.onReady. super.onReady. Now with this we'd be able to listen to messages when we come to this certain page from the very beginning, right? Well, I think I already logged out for some reason, so now let me log in. Okay, so I'm going to use this account to log in, and the other phone should be the other account, so that we know that we'll have a very smooth communication. All right, okay, great. Here we are, and if we go and see that I have one user. Okay, great. Now inside this we want to listen to changes, and before that, for listening, let's declare a variable listener. Now down there we're gonna listen to the messages. Before that, first get all the messages from our message list. So here we do db.collection. Okay, so our first collection is message, and after that here we'll get doc. So here we do doc.id. Here we do collection, and our new collection is message list, we know that. And after that we'll invoke with converter, our favorite converter, and which I love very much because it helps you get rid of bug and a lot of other things. So I strongly recommend you use with converter. Yes, it's possible not to use that one, but it's very just convenient. So over here we 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 need to supply some parameters to it. MSG content and options. Right after that, we just return MSG dot to firestore. Okay, great. And after that, we want to listen to all the messages. First, we want to get all of them, and want to get them based on the way they were added in the database, and from the latest one first, like that. Okay, we return that. Okay, and after that, what do we need to do? We would come over here, state.content message list, this one. We want to remove all the messages, earlier one, and that's why we call clear function from it. And after that, here we're gonna use a listener, the one that we declared over here. Okay, by the way, here we also need to create a variable to save them, because we're going to listen to all the messages if there are any changes. And now here we do listener equal messages dot snapshots dot listen. So that's how you go ahead and listen to messages or things like that if you have information in your Firebase database, which means, I mean, if you want to listen to any changes to them, if someone edits the data or add new data. So that's how you do that. All right, so inside this, because here we have this event, so event will contain a lot of information, and we'll look through them. So here we do var change in event dot doc changes. So let's doc changes. So as you can see, if the document changes, we'd be able to listen to them. Now, how the document changes over here, there are switch statement that we can use. Switch over here, change dot type. So we are listening to the type of the changes we have. Now, the first one could be case document change type, document change type dot if new data added to the system, then we would listen to this one. And then first we'll have if condition inside this. So here we'll get this change variable like this one. So here we do change the doc dot data, and we say that let's make sure it's not null. If it's not null, then the new data has been changes, and we want to add it to this list. Remember, earlier data has been removed, so we're gonna insert in this list over here. So here we do insert, and then we'll add it at the very top. Now over here, what is the data that we are going to add? So change dot doc dot data. So that's all we want to add it to it. Okay, all right, so that's if data has been changed and added. Then we fall back to this condition while we make sure that data is not empty. Then we add it to this content list. So this list is in our Flutter locally, right? We know that. All right, so that's one of the changes, and actually we could listen to many changes. So here first we do break, and after that, let's see, change case break like this. Okay, great. Now here we do one more time. So we'll just copy this and put it here, dot modified. If data has been modified, then do something. For now, we don't do anything. There is another type, so let's go ahead and put it here. If data has been removed, because we are not going to do editing and removing, we're just adding data in our chat list, and that should work. Let's see. Why do we have error for this? Case must be constant. Okay, this is typo. Yeah. So now with this, we'd be able to listen to any kind of changes that we have. All right, and after that, actually here, if we have any error, so right after this, let's see, right after this, if we have any error, so we can change it, we can listen to that. So here we would say on error, I think, let's see where it is coming from. Yeah, actually after this, not after this. So here would do on error. Okay, and it takes error property, and we return a function here, just print message listen failed, and then here we say the type of error we had. Okay, it should be inside. All right, great. And let's see what else we have here. We don't need this. Okay, now as we go to a chatting page, if we have error, that would also see that, as well as if we have any messages from our message list, we'd be seeing that one and clear the old one. So whatever we had would be saved over here and clearing the old one. And then we keep listening to the changes of the data that's already in Firebase. So if we have new data, we just add it, as you can see, in our local list, right? The old the data has been added long ago from here, right? Yeah, so that's been added, but here we just listen to changes, if we have more changes or not, based on the condition. Will it make sense? All right, so that's the controller part, and now we need to go ahead and work on this UI section over here. So inside this UI section, so inside this chat over here, I'm going to create a new directory, and I'll call it widgets. And here we're going to create a new widget. So there would be a file, and it will call it chat write item.dart. The purpose of doing this, so whatever the messages we send, we will show on the right side the user is sending. So this is the widget that would be responsible for doing this. Now over here, we'll just simply return a widget, and the widget name is chat write item. And over here, simply all we need to do, we'll send our message content, and we'll call it item. Okay, now all the messages would be shown in a container. So here we would do return container. All right, and let's see what else we need to import. Okay, great. So now over here, we'll have a child, and then we'll do row. And after this, before we even go ahead, let me add some padding to it so that it looks beautiful. I mean, we need padding anyway. I might forget it. So here, top. So between each messages, there should be some space. On the left side, there should be space. Right side, there should be space. Otherwise, they'll stick to the border, so we don't want them to stick to the border. And now here we need to import screen, let's say screen util, this one. All right, great. And inside row we'll have children, and then we'll use constrained box. Now with this, why we are doing constrained box, it would help us to get rid of overflow issue. So this is the reason that why we do that. Now here we'll have box constraints, and max width and max height we have. So max width is 230.w, and min height over here 40.w. All right. So we'll have another container here, and here we do margin edge sets only dot only, here right 10.w, top 0.w. all right, so here we'll also have padding. Now padding itself, maybe we can just copy this one and put it here, and we should be good to go. Let's see, let us change it to 10 over here, right 10 as well, skip the bottom part. Now these are just basic UI issue, you can change as you want. Now here we'll have decoration and box decoration. All right, and inside this we're gonna use linear gradient. Now earlier we had this file, let's copy the content from there. I think there was this view, and here this linear gradient, so we're just gonna copy that and put it here. So our messages and app bar, the top bar would almost look similar. Now this is the messages background, not the message itself. So here we'll set up another property which is called a transform and gradient rotation. Here we'd also do 90, and after that we can set up border radius, and I think we need to go out of this. So this is the box decoration, I think right below it. So here we could do border radius and border radius dot all radius dot circular, and here we're going to use this one. Okay, and let's see, we do feel like we have a bit of issue. Throw an error. Do we have const? So we can't have const over here. And this is the container, this is the box constraint, this is it. It should be outside actually. Well, we feel like we just messed up somewhere, and let us fix this. Expect it to find this, so put, yeah. Now the error is gone, and here I guess we could add one const modifier, and that's great. All right, so that should be the messages background section. That's why it looked like this. And let's see, so here we have this child, which is a container, and inside this we have this box decoration, and right after box decoration we can have another child. Now this is where actually we will show the content. So content type is if there's a text. Now if you go ahead and take a look at this one, remember it has a type, what type of message we are showing. So we are checking if it is a text message or not. So if it is a text type, then we just show the text. Now here we do like this, item dot content. So whatever the content that's being shown, yeah, let's see, we do have another error, expected to find, yeah, that's because we are doing a conditional check. And then we'd use a constraint box one more time, and constraint for itself, we're gonna copy this. Okay, I just copied too much content. All right, and then over here we just want to show the maximum width. So that should be, actually, what is this for? This is for image, because we'll see that we also send images to it. All right, either it's a text message, otherwise it's just an image. So that's what we are doing. Now over here inside this we can set up a child, and the child would be gesture detector. So on tap event, for now it's empty, but soon we'll work on that as well. Now here we'll have another child. Now here we would use cached network image. Now inside this we'll have image cached network image. If we don't have that one, so let's go ahead and import it. This one. Now inside this we'll have image URL, and now image URL itself would be coming from the content item dot. Over here we'll have say content, this one. Now if we see our message content, so that would be as a string. If when we pass a image, so image path would be saved and that path would be given here, so eventually we'll see it as an image. Okay, but the way we are sending, first we check it's a text or not. If it's image, then we'll see that we are tagging it as image later on, so it would make more sense later down the road. Now this widget has been done, but we are not ready to show it yet. Now to be able to do that, we need to create another UI and then we'll be able to show it. So here we do chat list dot dart, and from this is where we're gonna show our messages to the user on the right side. So here just go ahead and create a stateless class and we'll call it chat list. All right, and over here we don't want to do this. Here we want to do get view, and here we do chat controller, the type, and import getx package get. All right, now over here we're gonna return a container, and then just simply do like this. So let's set up the colors app colors dot chat background. So it's already there, you don't need to worry about it, but if you want you can click on this and check. So edge insets only dot only, and bottom, so here we set bottom 50, so it would be little at the top, the last message. And then here we'll have child, and then here we'll do custom scroll view, and inside this reverse true, and then controller. Now here we need to attach scrolling controllers, so message scrolling, because the message should be automatically scrolled. And we do see that we have an error, so here screen util. Okay, without this we'll have error, and that's why we have defined this earlier, as you can see. All right, well, we still need to do some work. So here we'll have slivers, and inside this we'll have sliver padding, and padding itself, say edge insets dot symmetric, and vertical 0w, horizontal 0w. All right, and inside this we'll have sliver, and here we'll use sliver list. Now inside this we'll have delegate and sliver child builder delegate, this one. And inside this it takes a function with the context and an index. So here we return like this, and then we'll declare a variable where we'll call it item. Now controller dot state dot message content, and we just simply pass the index. Awesome. And with this we'll be able to grab each of the messages. Now this section is pretty much like earlier we have seen over here. The logic almost similar like this, but they do the different thing. Why, I will show you. Now here we do if controller dot user ID equal item dot uid, this one, uid. Now here we'll just simply return chat right. So we are checking if the user ID and UID, which means the same person, is sending or not. So you're gonna show it on the right side. So this is the chat list, and we are done with this pretty much. Yes, we do have a little bit of work that we need to do. We'll do that later. And so this is the widget that gets called from here, and each time it gets called, we send one of this item. Now one of this item is coming from this message list. So it's the message itself coming from the message list over here, right? And the message list has been updated in the controller that we have seen before, right? So over here, it's being listened and updated all the time, as you can see. But before that, also this one also happens. Now this is the listener that gets triggered first time when you load this page, and it is still there. It should be dumped, so we need to dump this one. So here we do override and void, I think it's on dispose method that we need to call. So that's what we have, the dispose method, not on dispose, I'm sorry. And inside this we'll have say my MSG, I guess that was the controller. MS just scrolling, and then we have to dispose it, that one. And what else we could dispose over here? Let's see, a listener. Well, listener, we have to cancel it. Listener.cancel, cancel, yes. And then here we would call super.dispose. Okay, with this we'll prevent memory leaking. Now we're almost done, and so we need to come to this view over here. This is a chat view, and we should come down and inside the body section over here. So remember, this is our chat view, the view that we have over here, this one. And then here we just simply call chat list, and that's as simple as that one. Let's save it, and not sure we have any error or not. Okay, there could be, and we need to select the right one, actually this one. So let's go ahead and reload everything. Okay, well, looks like we have a bit of issues, so let's restart our app or rerun everything. Looks like we have a bit of issues over here. Error launching. So pages.dart over here. Okay, so here we have this problem. So we can simply change it, the path message, like this, and the same. Okay, it was referring here because earlier we refactored everything, so most probably that was the reason it was not being updated, the path automatically. So now it should be better because we already changed it. Let's see. Okay, looks like we still have error over here, state.dart message content, and there was this refactoring issue. So let's import it one more time. And any other errors we don't have. Let's see, save it. Okay, let's try to restart again. Okay, so we restarted everything. Here we are. So let's log in, and it's asking us to access. We'll be logging very soon. Okay, great. And let's go to our pages. Login success. We're here, contact page, and here is our chat. And we do get some error here. It says that we have range issue over here, message index. Well, let's try to send a message. Well, actually clear everything from here. That could be the reason that it doesn't have any messages. Yeah, well, it doesn't have any messages. Now let's send a message from here and see how it goes. This is a first message. Let's send it. All right, and if this time you hot reload, yes, so the message we do see, it's over here, but we are supposed to say it on the right, not on the left side. Let's send a second message. Let's send a second message, and well, we already have issue one more time, and it's not getting updated. Now the reason is also because I think we can just simply do one thing over here. So here we could simply just return obx, and this would help us to get this messages auto updated, the UI itself. Okay, all right. Well, it did say that it has improper usage, but this time if we launch everything, I think the error should be gone in a sense. Let's see. Yeah, everything should be good. Let's click on this. Yes, and let's click on this, and we still see this one. OBX is not getting updated. Hi there. Let's send a message. Yes, we have problem. The reason why we get this error actually from here, inside this silver delegate, after this actually we have to have, I think, child count or item count, they call it child count, and we are reading it wrong. Not reading it wrong, actually we are not reading how many messages we have, so that's why it's getting us error. Okay, and with this, yes, that's beautiful. The error is gone. Hi there, how are you doing? All right, let's send messages. Beautiful, awesome. So it gets updated automatically. Next, we need to move this on the right side, and on the left side we should have other messages coming from another user. Well, okay, great. So now this section could be updated actually over here. Why it looks like this? So here we do main access alignment dot end. So now everything should be here. Okay, great. And with this, actually, we can just go ahead and copy the right item over here. Well, I guess we can copy everything. And then inside this, we're going to put a new file, and we'll call it chat left item.dart. Inside this, we'll put everything, and then we'll just change the name, and after that we are good to go. All right, and over here it should be start. Okay, and nothing else changes with this regarding, well, if you want you can, but for now I'll just keep it like this. So now here we have this chat list. So if it's the same, then we return from here, otherwise we return from here, and inside this we're gonna call left item. It's as simple as that one, and then we're going to import it. And let's make sure that we don't have any error. Of course, we don't have anything on the right side yet. Now that's because we are not sending any messages to another user. Now here I have this phone, as you can see, and of course we are the same phone. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to remove this app from here and relaunch everything, and I'll use my other Google account to log in. So here I'm going to select this and then rebuild everything, so that would be rebuilt over here, and I'll use other account to log in. Okay, great. So we'll see, we're gonna chat with each other. I guess this moment is very exciting. So let's log in, and Google login, and this time I'll choose this account, and here we are. So over here, this is my other phone number, I mean Google account. As you can see, this one. So now over here, let's choose this, and we already see that this message has came from here. And let's chat on this and see how it goes. Hi, I found your messages. Let's click on this. Yes, beautiful. So we said here that it went immediately over here. So, chatting is so cool. So let's send it from here. So it's working. Firebase chatting is the best. And as you can see, we get it here immediately. Well, of course, there are some other fine-tuning issues that we need to work, but this is the first time that we have done chatting, and if you have followed so far, congratulations. So now let's go ahead and first take care of some of the other issues that we should, like the color itself, and some of the padding over here, as well as sending images, photos, those things. We'll see how to send images from our mobile phone to another user, as well as we'll see how to save the image to Firebase storage. Now, to be able to do that, first we need to come to our chat view, which is this one, and inside this, we know we already have a section where we are supposed to see this image icon, which is this one. And over here, we'll create a method. Actually, we'll call the method from here. We are not going to create the method here. So at the top, we'll create a method right below this one, right below this app build, this one. And here, the method name, we'll call it like show picker. And then we'll pass context to it, and that's all. And we're going to show everything as a bottom show model bottom sheet. So now one thing we could do, first go ahead and copy this name, and let's come over here, call it, as you call it, we pass a context to it, and that's it. And the context is coming from here. All right. So now inside this, we gonna invoke show model bottom sheet, this one. All right. All right, so inside this builder, so here first we'll pass build context. You can name it anything. Actually, we're not going to use it, so it's fine. Now, obviously, inside this, it wants us to return a widget. So here we're going to return a safe area widget. All right. And inside this, we'll have child. And here we'll use wrap widget to wrap things and put things horizontally. Now, inside this, we'll have children. With wrap, we'll be able to put things vertically on the top of each other. Now, first one we'll use list tile, and here leading, and inside this we're going to use icons. So here icons dot photo library, this one, and here we give it a title. So title would be like our text, and we'll call it gallery. And here we'll have on-tap event, and on-tap event will invoke a method from our controller, which is called a chat controller. Now we would create those methods. We don't have any yet. Now here I'm going to copy this and put it here, and photo library, and here we'll call it photo camera, and here we're gonna call it camera. All right, great. Now let's save it, and if we click on this, let's see. Yeah, we already see this. They're showing up, it's working. now we need to work on these methods. Now to be able to work on these methods, we need to come to our controller. Now the controller is over here, so let me close other items, we don't need that. So this is the controller that we need to go ahead and implement. Now inside the controller we already have few methods, but those methods have nothing to do with this one. I mean, what we are going to do is very independent method, nothing to do with the earlier variables and things like that. Okay, well, first make sure we declare two variables over here. The first one is a file, and we'll call it photo because we want to pick photos from our camera. And at the same time here we need to have image picker object, so let's go ahead and create one. So we'll call it picker and we'll invoke the constructor image picker. All right, now we need to import the libraries, and let's see, and over here now let's come to our popspec.yml file, and just make sure that over here we have this image picker, so which is called this one, image picker. So we have already installed this one, and let's see if it can recognize the path. Looks like it doesn't, so we have to import them manually. So let's go at the top and put it here like this. All right, so now we have seen over here that we will have to have a method. So let's go ahead and first create a method using for image gallery. So right below it here we'll create a method return type would be feature type, and I will call it img from gallery. That's all. Now inside this, first we'll have a variable here, we'll call it picked file, and then they call it picked file, and await, and then we need to invoke the picker function, picker variable, the one that we created, picker, and inside this there's a method which is called pick image. Now image, the source here we can define as image source dot gallery. Yeah, this one. So that should be our image source, and after this we have to have this one. All right, and then the error should be gone. Now this is the first step of choosing an image from our gallery, but of course here we need to do a check. So let's see if picked file is null or not. So if it is not null, then we need to actually upload the file. Okay, all right, now here we know that we created a variable at the top which is called a photo, so we'll save it in this variable, and then here we'll call it picked file dot path. So we need to get the path for this file, and then we need to actually upload it. Now we're going to create the upload method soon, but let's first work on this else. Now here simply we'll just say no image selected. That's what we'll say for now. All right, so now this is the logic where we'll actually upload the image. So here we'll create another class, and the type would be future, and we'll call it upload file, and this method should be called from here, so we'll call it upload file, this one. And of course it's a future type, we need to return things. All right, so first as we upload, remember earlier we saved it, right? So this one over here, so let's check it if there is still an image. So if photo equal null, then we'll just simply return we don't have any photos. All right, and after that here we'll declare a variable, and we'll call it final, and it would be file name. We'll randomly generate files for our image, and then we'll save that name and image in Firestore. So here we do get random string, this one, and now it will have length of 15 plus extension and here we'll have photo, and then we'll invoke the path from it. And that's it. Now let's see. Now this extension would be coming from a package that we already installed, and here we'll have a catch. So that's what we do, and let's print. We'd say there's an error. So that's all. Let's print that. Otherwise we'll go ahead and do our stuff. Now the first thing we want to, well, now we need to save it in somewhere in Firestore. Now to be able to do that, so first we'll create a variable and we'll call it ref, and then we'll do Firestore. Actually that's a fire storage dot instance. So we'll save it in Firebase Firestore, actually Firebase storage. So here we do Firebase storage dot instance, and then it will have an object, or actually kind of method, which is called ref. Now here inside this you need to use a name, or it's like a label, but it's not a folder or not a document or not collection. Now inside this you want to save it. Save what? Save the file name, the file name that we have. And let's see if we can import it. Now let's go ahead and import it at the top manually. Firebase storage. Okay, this one. All right, so now the error should be gone. So what's happening here, we're gonna upload this one, the file name that we have created for our image, and then over here, before we put the file in the storage, we have to give it a name before that. So this way, pretty much every image that we upload, that would be more like right after this chat keyword or chat tag. You can understand it like this. And then over here we need to do await, and then we do ref.putFile. So put file, this one. So with this actually we are going to put the file. Now what's the file? The file itself is a photo, the one that we had early, this one. And then okay, we have an event which is called snapshot events, and we listen to it, that how we upload and how things goes. And we'll just do like this. Now inside this we'll have, let's see, everything is correct, and most probably here we need async keyword, and photo, make sure there is not null async, so we need n for this. Okay, so right over here we would use a switch statement, and then we have this object which is called event. We take that one, event. Now event has a property which is called state, so we take that one, and then inside this, well, first we can check like this. So here we do event dot so first here we do like the task state dot running, if it's running or not, then we do things, and after that we break, and we do another one which is called task state dot post, and then we'll break, and after that case task state dot success, and after this actually we want to get the image URL. So for this reason we need to create a method, and over here first we do string img URL and await get img URL. Now here we pass the file name. We need to return the image URL so that later on in our app we can view it. So now we don't have this method, so we need to go ahead and create this. So here we'll create this method, and the method type would be future get img URL, and then we'll pass a string name to it because the file name is a string name. And then inside this, here we'll create a variable and we'll call it space ref and call it anything. So Firebase storage dot instance dot ref